This is KC Sports Tonight.
And there we are, live on the KCTV5 app and your favorite streaming platforms. It is KC Sports Tonight. Scott Reiss joined by the one, the only, our very special guest star for the evening, Brad Stephens.
I'm excited to be here. This is cool.
Right?
No, I see you take part in this, and Carol and I we listen across the newsroom, and we can hear what's going on, and it's exciting, it's cool, it's new. I'm glad to be a part of it.
I'm not sure that all the folks at home actually realize that. Don't be fooled by the blue and red solid backdrops. Like right behind here is the KCTV5 newsroom. Like the assignment desk is right there, and all the reporters and anchors and producers are working. The editors, like everything that goes on here day to day, is right behind us, so they can hear you, Brad.
This is a hub of activity right now.
It's a hub of activity, and anything you say can and will be used against you, not by the folks at home, but by the folks in this room. But
no doubt.
No, it's good to have you on. We'll get to some Brad Stephens nostalgia down the line, as you see on the
we can wait for that.
right-hand side of your screen. Let's start with the big news from today, and there's not a whole lot to get into, but we should update the folks at home in case you missed it earlier this afternoon, really late this morning. The Chiefs canceled their last day of OTAs for this week. They canceled their media availability because a backup defensive lineman, B.J. Thompson, fifth-round pick last year, 2023, out of Stephen F. Austin, had a medical emergency. According to reports, had a seizure, went into cardiac arrest. Really scary stuff, especially in light of the Damar Hamlin incident from a couple of seasons ago. But good news is, as far as we know, he is in stable condition, and we will get more tomorrow when the Chiefs have their rescheduled workout and media session. So tomorrow we'll hear from Andy Reid on whatever he can tell us. But, Brad, we see this from time to time in all walks of sporting life, and it's always so frightening when an athlete, a professional athlete, just up and collapses and something like this goes down.
Well, you just mentioned Damar Hamlin's name, and that stopped so many people in their tracks the day that happened, and he went down, and it was I don't use this word very often because shocking is such a strong word for me, but people were shocked. And we know the details of coming out about what happened today have been fairly limited.
Yep.
But from what we've been able to gather and determine is that, one of the reasons that they decided to cancel everything and cancel the rest of OTAs for today and their news conference there was just the reaction of the teammates that were in the room when this happened to BJ. And I just can't imagine. You see a person that you're out there, it's your colleague, it may be your friend, and all of a sudden you see them struggling for life, and that has to have such a dramatic impact no matter who you are.
Yeah, and this was, again, according to reports, this was during a team meeting. So this wasn't even like they were out on the practice field and, you think heat stroke and the obvious things you kind of go to. But no, this was indoors before practice. I mean, just up and out of nowhere. And that's, I think, the scariest part. It's just like snap your fingers and all of a sudden, like you say, this guy's fighting for his life.
Yeah, a true medical emergency, which is, and after you see something like that, it takes some time, and so I'm sure for a lot of those players and coaches who were there in that room, it's gonna take a while to kind of try to process it, and the main concern right now is that B.J. Thompson is going to be okay, and from what we're hearing, the news looks good preliminarily.
Well, and we can also infer that it is good news because a lot of the players are right now playing a charity softball game, which they would not be doing if this was super serious and life-threatening at this point.
Yeah, probably would have canceled it.
They probably would have canceled it. And we wondered most of the afternoon, were they going to cancel it? And they decided to go through with it. It's a really important event for the Chiefs and the players and charitable foundations and that sort of thing. So they're out there right now. In fact, the home run derby will start in about 30 minutes, and then they'll play the softball game. So it's always fun. We'll have video of that coming up, both on the 6 o'clock news and then tonight at 10. The other big news today from Chiefs world is Super Bowl heroes coming back.
And this was that's exciting.
This was not a slam dunk. But reports from NFL Network and then corroborated by other sources today, wide receiver Mecole Hardman, who caught that game-winning pass in the Super Bowl last year, or this year in Vegas last season, is coming back for one more year to the Chiefs. And look, Brad, he's been on all the Chiefs Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
so he has certainly a ton of history with this organization, with this city. That said, last year was not exactly a bastion of NFL production. You see the numbers there. He had 15 catches the entire regular season, some of that with the Jets, where he played 5 games before being traded back to Kansas City. But in the postseason, 7 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. And most of that production came on 2 plays, obviously, in Super Bowl 58.
Yeah, just call him primetime
Yeah,
Hardman.
right.
Because, I mean, he shows up when it matters most. Look, here's my feeble opinion on this. The Chiefs need depth. The Chiefs, Brett Veach proved you don't need the fastest guy in the NFL to be your receiver. They let Tyreek Hill go to the Dolphins. And what happens? But Mahomes and company, they win a Super Bowl afterwards. So Mecole Hardman fills that depth part. No, are his numbers flashy? Of course they're not. What the Kansas City Chiefs have, what Andy Reid knows he has, is that he has the best quarterback in the NFL. And if the Chiefs receivers will just catch the passes that are thrown to them, that's really, I think, all Chiefs fans can ask for. We've got the best quarterback in the league. Let Patrick Mahomes throw those passes that only he can make. And, okay, we don't have Tyreek Hill on the Chiefs. We don't need Tyreek. It'd be nice to have Tyreek Hill here, but we don't need Tyreek Hill. We just need those receivers that are there to catch the balls that Patrick throws to them.
Well, with 2 Super Bowls post Tyreek now, I think we can safely say they don't need Tyreek Hill.
Breaking.
Now, look, you can't replicate that kind of speed, although they're trying. You bring in,
they really are.
You bring in Hollywood Brown, who's a burner. You re-sign Hardman, who's a burner, and then your number 1 draft pick, Xavier Worthy, breaks the all-time record for 40-yard time at the combine. So, I mean, think about the speed that this team now can put on the field. If they want to, they can put them all out there together. And, oh, by the way, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Kadarius Toney, but dude's fat. Like, the athleticism and the speed that this team now has in the wide receiver core, it's kind of scary.
If they can just catch the balls thrown to them.
Catch the ball.
But, no, you're right. They have so much speed, and the Andy Reid loves that. And then you match that up with Patrick's cannon for an arm, and it just opens up the playbook for what the Chiefs can do. And man, how many days away are we to the Chiefs season? I mean, summer hasn't even started.
Less than 100.
Chiefs fans are already looking at their watch and their calendar going, is it time yet? Is it time?
Well, and, we won't see any of this tomorrow. We'll have cameras out there at OTAs, and we'll get stretching, right? But it's going to be a while. And next week, mandatory mini camp. We still can't shoot much. It's going to be training camp before we really get to see the first flashes of this sort of team speed and guys running fly patterns and going all out and catching footballs and hopefully catching footballs. So it's going to be a little while. We still have to sort of imagine it. But it is interesting when you consider now the wide receiver depth chart. There's a lot of bodies now on this depth chart.
And that's what they needed.
And that's
frankly.
what they need.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare for a potential suspension to Reiss.
Exactly.
You have to prepare for Kadarius Toney. Will he or won't he be a productive member of Chiefs society, right? He was not for the last 2 months of last season. So I think they're giving themselves options, which is the smart way to go about it. And we will see who rises to the top. And it'll be fascinating, Brad, to see who's on the field on opening night, Thursday, September 5th.
Cannot wait. But, yeah, I think Mecole Hardman, right now we look at that as Super Bowl catch. Great to have that back. But really, it's a big insurance policy that the Chiefs just signed, I think.
Let's talk a little baseball because
love to.
We have winning baseball to discuss today.
So much
which
fun.
Is great. It's been a rough couple of weeks, truth be told. The Royals had lost 7 out of 9, and some of those in excruciating fashion. Certainly the last game on Tuesday before the rain out yesterday. But give them credit. Today in Cleveland, down 3-1 in the middle innings. They claw back to tie it at 3, and then Kyle Isbell, the number 9 hitter, game-winning RBI late in the game. They win 4-3, and this is a big win on multiple levels,
huge.
Not the least of which is it gets you back within 4 games in the AL Central.
Such a huge game, Scott, in that consider what they did yesterday against Cleveland. I mean, they were up 5-0. I mean, everybody feeling good about themselves. That's Seth Lugo on the mound. You're thinking, okay, I can put this one in the win column, and we're going to climb a game closer against the Guardians. Well, what does Cleveland do? We lost. Kansas City lost. And man, I was really interested to see how they would bounce back from this. And they come back again. this is that time of year when I think a lot of the fans who were waiting for, I'm not going to buy in. I'm not going to invest in the Royals until the official start of summer. I think many Royals fans have been of that mindset. And so this last couple of weeks, those fans in particular have been thinking to themselves, well, I'm glad I didn't get invested, because it looks like now that the Royals are into kind of the meat of this, playing better teams and obviously the Guardians.
Yep.
But I think a lot of fans were like, wait, are the Royals not going to be able to stand up to this pressure? And today's game spoke volumes to me about this team. I don't want to say pesky, but man, they are resilient.
They are resilient.
They're fun. They are fun to watch. Love them.
Yeah, and we've seen, and that's the frustrating part of this, this rough patch over the last week and a half, is we've seen the resilience constantly.
They keep coming back. You can't keep them down.
They keep coming back, and they just had games where they would be down 5 in the ninth and they'd score 4. They'd be down 3 in the ninth and they'd score 2. Now that's hard to do, and that's you're going up against closers and back end bullpen guys, but they couldn't get over the hump. They finally did it on Sunday against the Padres in the home finale, and that was huge. Then they go to Cleveland, and on Tuesday, the game you referenced, where they're up 5-0, they got Lugo. They give it up. It's 5-5, and then Bobby Witt Jr. just with a play that he would just so like to have back. He throws one into the dugout with the bases loaded and 2 outs, 3-run score, and that's the difference in the game. So today was nice to kind of wash that bad taste out of their collective mouth and out of fans' collective mouth, and to come home feeling good. Now you get a 7-game homestand here at the K.
Yeah, the Royals just proving once again they're not going to go down without a fight, and that's why, in so many years past, the Royals would get down 2-3 runs and you'd be like, well, that's it, game's over. Now they're down 5, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, the Royals still have a chance. I'm going to continue to watch or listen to this game. So, man, each week that goes by that the Royals keep doing this, it is. As a Royals fan, I've been a Royals fan since, I grew up in Nebraska, and I've been a Royals fan since I was a little kid, because the Royals were the only thing that I could listen to on the radio back there in central Nebraska. So the Royals radio network reached into central Nebraska, and so I've been a Royals fan since I was just a little kid. So this is so much fun to watch.
And you have to have been a Royals fan, I think, for that long to have the necessary perspective to appreciate how big a deal this is.
Yep.
Because in a lot of markets, being 10 games over 500 in June is not news.
No.
It's not oh my God, look at our team. It's just like, okay, so this is a season. Here we are. It's a long year. Around here, this hasn't happened a whole lot in the last, 5 decades.
Yeah. People are pinching themselves.
Even mid-season, this is a big deal. And the other thing that was nice for me to see today, Brad, was the bottom of the lineup guys got it done. Hunter Renfroe had a big RBI double. We talked about Isbell, who had the game-winning single, but he also drove in another run with a ground out. So this, to me, has been, there have been 2 Achilles heels of, admittedly, a very good baseball team to this point. One has been the bullpen, which has been inconsistent. Not bad, just inconsistent. And the other has been the bottom half of the order has not been great. You see a lot of batting averages down there that are 210, 180, 230. And if those guys can pick it up, I love what we got going on with Garcia and Witt and Vinny and Salvi and Massey when he comes back healthy. That's a dynamite 1 through 5. So if 6 through 9 can hold up their end of the bargain, I think we're onto something.
Man, can you sprinkle some pixie dust on MJ's bat? That's the one that's the position that is concerning. And you listen to,
and flabbergasting, because you've seen it. It's not like he's done it, and he's done it at the major league level. And last year, even though the numbers weren't great, all the talk in the offseason among baseball geeks and stat heads and fantasy baseball types was MJ Melendez, the breakout is coming because his hard hit numbers are off the charts. His StatCast numbers. He hits the ball hard. The balls just haven't been falling. You wait next year. And here we are next year, and he's hitting 180.
Still waiting.
It's like, what's going on?
I love MJ. I love watching him. He such potential, but, man, the numbers just aren't there right now. And again, his bat is just, it's ice cold right now.
Although he made a play on the base paths today that helped him win the game. I don't know if you saw it. But
and he had a nice catch in the outfield, too.
Yeah. So, no, he's played well. He's done done well with the glove. But coming down the third base line, it was the Isbell ground ball that tied the game at 3. And he was trying to score. The throw had him dead to rights, and he basically jumped kind of over and around the catcher and touched home plate with his hand And they initially called him out because the throw beat him by 5 feet. And then they reviewed it. They looked at it. They're like, you know what? Never tagged him. He somehow just completely contorted his body and avoided the tag and scored the run. And obviously in a 4-3 win, that's pretty big.
And that's one of the reasons he's out there. He's so athletic. He's so athletically gifted that you're just hoping for him so much that bat is finally going to warm up.
What is your level of optimism that this is a playoff team?
You know, I think there's a really good chance that they're a wild card team.
Yeah,
the Guardians are so good. The Guardians are so good, and I still think that the Twins are still going to find their footing. You know, in the months of July and August. So I have my fingers crossed. As a longtime Royals fan, I'm just going to say I have my fingers crossed, and I'm optimistic that from what I've seen so far, I'm gonna bleed blue, and I'm gonna have my blue tinted glasses on, and I'm gonna say we're the wild card team.
Here's a number for you. As of last night, okay, there are 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Guess how many teams in Major League Baseball as of last night were over 500 out of 30?
10?
9.
Wow, really? I thought 10 was a ridiculous number to guess. 9?
9.
And Kansas City's one of them.
Okay, they're 10 games over.
How about? And that's the other thing I don't think the local fans don't do, because we've been losing for so long, but they don't give the Royals credit when the credit is due. And boy, that 9 teams and the Royals are one of them.
It's fascinating. And you wonder, how in the world is that possible? And because mathematically speaking, when one team wins, one team loses, so it should be like 15 and 15. But it's crazy, and I think you've got like 2 teams in the National League that are blowing the doors off of everybody, the Dodgers and Phillies, and a couple of just horrific
terrible
bottom
teams.
feeders like the White Sox and the Rockies and the Marlins, and it's just skewing everything. So,
wow, that is a fantastic stat, but it makes me feel better about my Royals.
Yeah, no, you got to feel good. And they still have the 4th or 5th best run differential in all of baseball, not just in the American League.
That's still holding up.
It's holding up.
Fantastic.
So now they got to come home, and the tough stretch continues. You got 7 games at the K. Mariners, who are really good and have in my mind, the best pitching staff in the American League belongs to the Seattle Mariners, starting staff. They'll be here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the New York Yankees, who are having a fantastic season, and they hit the bejeebers out of the baseball. They'll be in for 4 next week. You know, there'll be big crowds, a lot of Yankee fans and a lot of Royals fans.
I hope there are there should be huge crowds for the Mariners game, and I think there will be. Good weather this weekend coming up, and the Royals are playing well. But that Yankees series, oh man, I've been looking forward to that since the beginning of the season. I love it when the Yankees come to town. That is fun.
And then, oh, by the way, then you go back on the road, and part of that next road trip in L.A. against the Dodgers. So it's not getting any easier anytime soon. If they can just navigate these next 2 weeks of baseball, then the schedule
just
lightens
play 500
up again.
or above.
Play 500 or above over the next couple of weeks. You know, that's, I think, the prescription. Now,
And
they
then see
haven't
where
done
you are.
that. They haven't done that the last week and a half, so they do have to pick it up. But big series coming up.
Today was huge.
And I'm hoping to be out there tomorrow for 6 o'clock for the.
That'd be great
for Game 1 against Cleveland.
Perfect.
So all right. So now the fun part of the show. We've been doing this all week. I did it with Marlia Campbell on Tuesday, and I did it with Neil Jones yesterday. And today, you're in the hot seat. You're in the red chair.
Let's go.
Your favorite, most memorable TV moments. Bonus if they have anything to do with sports, but if they don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of your favorite TV moments in the 6 years that you've been doing TV broadcast news.
Yeah,
7,
just
8.
6 years. Yeah. This is easy. This is so easy. So first of all, I just told you all that I'm from a little town in central Nebraska. I grew up listening to the Royals radio network as a little kid, so I've been a Royals fan since a little kid. So in 2014, when the Royals had that miraculous, unbelievable run, and lo and behold, they make it to the 2014 World Series against the San Francisco Giants. KCTV5 sent me as part of our entourage to cover the World Series, and I knew it was going to be cool. I had no idea what playoff baseball was like to watch it at that stadium in San Francisco, to have I was huge Alex Gordon fan, being that he's a Nebraska product, I'm a Nebraska product. So I followed his career forever. But to watch him play and to watch the Royals play, and then to get paid to go cover stories about in San Francisco. But the coolest thing, and yeah, so just being there and covering the Royals in the World Series. But the coolest thing, it was the 7th inning stretch. I think it was game 4. The Royals were losing. 7th inning stretch, this guy standing next to me, and he goes, "Have you ever been to a game here, in playoff baseball?" And I said, "No, this is it." And he goes, look at that suite over there. He goes, "Just watch that for a little bit." And I look, and I'm like, and all of a sudden they pop him up on the Jumbotron, and it's Steve Perry from Journey.
Yep.
So I didn't realize this, but 7th inning stretch, if they're winning, Steve Perry comes out and he sings Lights. If they're losing, he plays Don't Stop Believing. But I'm standing there, first of all, I'm a child of the 80s, so seeing Steve Perry and Journey, singing, and he's wearing all of his Giants gear. But it was just this moment, and I'm literally, as he's singing, City by the Bay, and I'm looking out over that beautiful stadium and out over the bay.
The most beautiful ballpark in America, by the way.
And the lights twinkling, and I'm watching what I can consider my Kansas City Royals in the World Series, and it was literally a pinch-me moment, and I thought, I know that there are going to be great things in life ahead of me, and there have been great things like my marriage and the birth of my children, but this is a top moment that I don't know that it'll ever get better than this. And man, I still think about that World Series and that time in San Francisco, and that they lost him. We ran into the Madison Bumgarner machine that he is, the buzzsaw. But then that next year against the Mets, and it was just such a wonderful time for Royals fans, and to be a part of it, and for KCTV5 to send me to San Francisco. I will never forget it, and it is clearly one of the highlights of my TV career.
Yeah, and what's funny is that sort of ties us together, because my Kansas City experience prior to my employment at KCTV5 was when I was working in San Francisco.
That's right.
And covering the Giants in that World Series.
We talked about this.
And here in Kansas City first I was here for that crazy wild card game against the A's, and then I was here for the World Series. So I was in the stadium for the Madison Bumgarner Game 7, watching it unfold, and obviously we were covering the team that won. It was a different perspective. But that was one of the most incredible sporting events. That game, it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Ever.
Special time, not just for Major League Baseball, but clearly, obviously, for Kansas City and the city and all of their great fans. Again, a pinch me moment that I knew when I was sitting there. I was like, I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to top this, and I'm okay with that, because it felt like I was on top of a mountain, and never forget it.
All right, so from there we go to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, got a few of those too.
And I know you've had more than a couple of these. Your favorite embarrassing television moments that you can reveal on a live internet stream. Oh,
well, that one's easy too. So I started my career in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, back in 1989. At the time, I was, I'd never anchored before. I was a beat reporter for the NBC affiliate in Sioux Falls. Nobody watched that station. There was nobody watching at that time. But so it was my first time anchoring on the 10 o'clock news. The main anchor was gone, and apparently everyone else was gone, and they were like, "Who else do we have?" Oh, there's Stevens over there in the corner. Let's give him a shot at the anchor chair. So I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So I put my big boy suit on and had my hair all gone. I thought, this is it. This is my big break. This is Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is the big time. And so I get through. I'm thinking everything's going great. I'm thinking everything's going perfect. I'm thinking network's going to be calling after the first block. I'm thinking, this is a hit. And I've noticed that my co-anchor at the time, and I remember her name to this day, Eileen Gunner. Eileen, if you're watching, I'm so sorry for that night. I noticed that she kept moving away from me a little bit, and she kept looking at me. So we get to the first commercial break, and I am just like, the world is on fire. I've nailed it. I'm going to be a network anchor by tomorrow. She looks at me and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing great." I go, "Why? What happened?" And she kind of looks at me, and she's still moving away from me, and she's looking at the anchor desk, and I look down, and she goes, no, really? She goes, are you okay? And I realized that, in the movie Spider-Man has, he can shoot the web from his palms of his hand. I went the other route that night. My Spider-Man move was I apparently was shooting lots of body sweat from the palms of my hand. Now, you're thinking to yourself, no big deal? No. It was it had never happened since. It had never happened before then. It's never happened since. But I looked down, and on the anchor desk, there's probably just 2 huge pools of my sweat on the desk.
Solid.
And I didn't feel nervous at the time, but apparently I was channeling all my nerves into the palms of my hand. And Eileen, funny enough, but Eileen Gunner never asked me to anchor with her again after that.
That is funny. Well, good news is I'm looking at the floor now. I see no
no, I'm good.
Liquid
I'm
of
good.
any kind dripping.
I've figured that out.
Good. You solved that. Cool. All right, man. Well, hey.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's you know what? Everybody's.
I live to fight another day.
Everybody's got them, and it's fun. It's part of it's sort of a rite of passage in this
Everybody
business.
has them.
Right.
You try to be, especially the first time when you're on TV and it's the anchor thing, and you're trying to be so cool, and everybody can see right through you, and they can figure out that this guy, he's a nervous wreck. So
cool.
Made it through.
Hey, man, thanks for stopping by.
This has been fun.
Yeah,
and I didn't sweat all over the place. So I got that going
which
for
means
me.
you can come back.
Well, maybe we'll see.
So yeah, good to have the special guest star every once in a while. I got to mix it up. You can only get so much, of the 4 of us.
Love being here.
So yeah, appreciate it. We'll let you get back to your day job because I know you got a newscast to do, and I've got a newscast to do, and then we'll reconvene at 10 o'clock and we'll do one together. How about
got
that?
Stuff coming up, and on a day when it's a Royals victory, it's a good day in Kansas City.
There you go. Brad Stephens, everybody. Thanks.